So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
The Democrats have officially dropped their October surprise, and honestly, it's pretty weak sauce because it's the same story they have recycled over and over and over again against Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and sum this up. It all starts with The Atlantic, all right? Now, The Atlantic, of course, is a left-wing rag that was purchased by Laurene Powell Jobs. That is Steve Jobs' billionaire widow. And she purchased The Atlantic, not, of course, to increase the integrity of reporting, not, of course, to increase truth in reporting, but she actually wanted to interject herself to sway public opinion, right? That's what she said, okay? And by the way, in case you were wondering, she is in fact a close personal friend of Kamala Harris, as well as a big time donor. And by the way, for no other reason than just because, here's a picture of her sitting next to Ghislaine Maxwell, who of course was Epstein's madam, right? But never mind any of that. Let's get back to The Atlantic, okay? Now this story, The Atlantic, Trump, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, is written by Whoopi Goldberg. And of course it features a whole bunch of quotes from John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff. Now, if all of this is sounding a bit familiar, that's because all the way back in 2020, The Atlantic, owned by Laurene Powell Jobs, had an article written by Whoopi Goldberg that also featured John Kelly. And this was the very famous and now widely debunked losers and suckers story, right? Donald Trump refused to go visit the graves of dead Americans over in France because the weather was pretty bad and all his advisors said not to do that. However, according to John Kelly, he says Donald Trump didn't want to go because he didn't want to visit the graves of losers and suckers. So all of this, of course, was widely debunked by everyone who was present at that decision, everyone who was present in the room. So basically, you have John Kelly making this claim that everyone involved has disputed. But now, of course, here we are in modern day, and the same thing is happening again. Now, the interesting thing about this story is that it actually starts off talking about Vanessa Guillen. All right. Now, she was a 20-year-old Army private who was actually murdered down in Fort Hood, Texas. Now, Donald Trump actually had the family to the White House to express his condolences and offer help in any way they possibly could. But now in this article, the quote Donald Trump is saying, what? The cost of the funeral is $60,000? It doesn't cost that much to bury a freaking Mexican. Of course, the problem with this statement is that the family themselves have come out and said, this is complete garbage. This, of course, is Myra Guillen. And she says, wow, I don't appreciate how you're exploiting my sister's death for politics. Hurtful and disrespectful to the important changes she made for service members. President Donald Trump did nothing but show respect to my family and Vanessa. In fact, I voted for President Trump today. And of course, this is in response to the Atlantic story. Now, right off the bat, the first thing mentioned in this garbage hit piece from The Atlantic is, of course, this falsehood. So that means we can discredit the entire rest of it. And never mind the fact that, yes, they've been doing the same exact thing for 4 years, the same story, the same source. And of course, all of it is being widely debunked. But of course, that's not enough for the harpies over at The View. So before we get into these clips, please like and comment and subscribe so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Is this like, what changed and made you, what line did he cross this time for you that made you come out? What do you think?
I mean, I just can't believe that for 4 years people have been warning about this. This is General John Kelly is somebody who was so highly regarded by everyone in Trump's West Wing. He was seen, even by the most loyal Trump advisors, as a steadying force. And the fact that today Trump's defenders are instead choosing to impugn a four-star general to defend a politician, I think shows that there's a cravenness and an unwillingness to ever stand up for what's right. But we've never actually been in this moment in history before where so many former senior military officials who directly served under Donald Trump and senior officials like myself are warning about his character, his infidelity to the Constitution, how he views our military. And I want to shake people and be like, why are you not believing us? How many more four-star generals need to tell you the truth about who this man is? He is so deeply dangerous. I'm hoping it breaks through, but I'm never going to lose hope. I'm not going to, but how many more people do you need to hear from?
This is the kind of thing that I don't even know what to say anymore. If people still follow this fascist pig, then I don't know what else to say. I really don't. It's like, how many times do we have to hear him say referring to immigrants as animals? Yeah. And Hitler called cleansing Germany of all those parasites, referring to immigrants, and he called Jews lice. And this guy, Trump, calls people vermin. It's the same language that Hitler used, okay? How many times do we have to hear him say that John McCain was not a hero because he was captured, or that people who serve in the United States military, my father, my uncles, World War II, how many of us have relatives who served in World War II to preserve democracy in this country? I don't want to hear from these people anymore because they're just either ignorant or willfully ignorant at this point. It's absolutely crossed the line for me now.
I think that's where the framing is, and I think you've really hit the note. People hear these terms, Marxists and fascists, and things like that, strongmen thrown around, and I don't think, unfortunately, that they really do understand the difference between a fascist government and a democratic government, right? Abe Lincoln said it in the Gettysburg Address. Our government, this democracy, which is a very young democracy, it's only about 250 years old, the government is for the people, right? By the people, of the people. And it's about freedom to love who you want to love, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to protest. And it's the exact opposite of fascism.
So all of these ladies over on The View are just going to go ahead and believe John Kelly, right? No afterthought to it whatsoever. They're not even going to use the word allegedly to cover their butts legally. And what you just heard there from Joy Behar is a whole bunch of disproven things, right? Oh, Donald Trump calls all immigrants insects or animals. No, just the really savage criminal ones that come across and do horrible atrocities to our American citizens, Joy, okay? And then, of course, you have Alyssa Farah Griffin, who, by the way, it just came out, was trying to influence testimony of certain people at the January 6th Commission, okay? And she's going to say that, oh yeah, Donald Trump, the cabinet I was a part of, all of us respected John Kelly so much, but we had to get out of there because we knew how awful Donald Trump was. And they're just basically thinking about Mark Milley, right? That other general who's turned on Donald Trump. Mark Milley, the very same person who refused to withdraw troops at Trump's order. Mark Milley, the person who also had secret communication with China just to assure them that they're not under attack from Donald Trump. And the very same Mark Milley who is the orchestrator of the horrible Afghanistan withdrawal, where we left behind billions of dollars of weapons and ammunition and top secret technology that now, of course, has been stolen by our enemies, right? But this, of course, are the adults in the room. These are the people we shouldn't be afraid of. And when we talk about the fear of fascism from Donald Trump, back to Joy Behar, how many reporters did Donald Trump actually bring lawsuit against when he was president? How many political opponents did Donald Trump actually persecute when he was president? And the answer to that, of course, is zero, okay? You're accusing Donald Trump of doing the very same things that your side is doing, and it is utterly ridiculous, all right? So these hags apparently have forgotten already about the lies of the Steele dossier, the lies of the very fine people on both sides, the lies of the January 6th Commission. All of that flies under their radar because it doesn't agree with their narrative. And everything I've just laid out, of course, shows why this is a bunch of BS. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.